1, 2, testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Testing again, 1, 2. Okay, sounds like we're audio's back on YouTube. Testing again, 1, 2. Okay, sounds like we're audio's back on YouTube. Okay, stand by. I might have to go without the headset. Stand by. There's some new set on this platform now. Okay, testing 1, 2, YouTube. Okay, testing 1, 2, YouTube. All right, apologize for that delay. Yeah, I got a new headset and everything. I was going to go a different way tonight, as far as the live stream goes. I'm not in my normal place where I do the live streams where I don't have problems like this. Also, this new headset might be broken. I noticed this is a Turtle Beach, and I've had no problems with these before, but I noticed the microphone connection is kind of flimsy. It doesn't like snap in place, once you the mic comes now separate in a little plastic bag. It may have done that with Turtle Beach before, but anyways, they have a regular audio pin, and hold on a second. It got an on and off switch on the wire itself, cable going into the headset slash microphone, and a normal audio jack which you plug into your phone. Now, I've used these before. I don't know why it's not working tonight. It's kind of funny. We had 22 people in at one time. I was fiddling around with this thing to try to get it working. Half the people left. I wanted to say tonight, thank you for all the people that are here from the very beginning. I only need 13 subs to get to 500 so I can be monetized on YouTube. Now, there's a lot of things going on far as in my private life, that's going on that, the way things are, how expensive everything is today, and it would be nice to be monetized and actually get paid for the content I put out, which a lot of people use. You can, it's kind of like plagiarize, they do it in a little way, where they'll just change up a few words or whatever. And I don't mind it because, I really never really wanted to be monetized. I just wanted to get out, put the information out on YouTube and Rumble. Now where I'm at now, this new place, I can't do it over to Rumble until I get another platform, and that's going to be kind of costly. I'm trying to get something more of the lines, not like professional, but decent, to have a decent live stream where you won't have interruptions and I won't have to worry about being uh deep not deplatformed, but throttled back and that kind of thing. Have some type of protection against that kind of stuff, like preempting the connection multiple times during the live streams and that kind of thing. Have a little bit more control over the live streams than what I do now. But anyways, yeah, the reason why I'm keeping the volume going in the background is because, yeah, if I lose the audio, I won't know it because I don't have the headset. Now, I bought this headset today, brand new, Turtle Beach. It's not a bad, but like I said, the microphone that you plug in to the headset, it's kind of flimsy and it's not connecting like it doesn't like click in to the headset like it should. So it doesn't take much effort to actually pull that out, if you understand what I mean, that mic, without you knowing it. And it's very, very awkward, but I don't like it. You got the cords coming down from both sides of the headset. You got, I guess it's stereo. You got two wires going into the switch, whatever, and then going into the audio plug, which you plug right into your phone. It shouldn't be this difficult. I've used these before and they work. I got one at my other place that works fine. I never had any problems with it. But this is a defective unit. Probably one of those ones that are returns. And what they do, they just basically they sell them to Walmart. Walmart has no problem. I bought defective units returns that they just throw back up on the shelves. I mean, they should be held accountable for that, doing that kind of thing to people out there. I've noticed I bought a couple of like tabletop microwaves. One, you can actually see the light when the microwave turns on. You can actually see a crack in the door, and you can see the light of the. I don't know if they're doing that now. These big, huge box stores are doing that now, where they just repackage up returns and send them back out there again. But that was when I complained about that. I had a hard time because they use third party vendors, and you can't get your money back on some of those third party vendors. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean? So you have to be watch out from all these scams going on now, and doesn't seem like there's much oversight in these scams, especially with third party. They can't they can't give you the money back, I think, on a third party, even though you buy it right in the store. Oh, I think I ordered it online. It was like Walmart online. I ordered one of those microwaves online, and it came to my address, and I tried to take it back to Walmart because I figured, okay, well, I bought it online, but they're buying from a third party vendor. And actually, the third party vendor, in my opinion, to make money, they're getting returns, probably even working for Walmart as a subcontractor, right? Getting the returns, packaging them back up, and just selling them as a third party vendor. And people don't know that when they go to the Walmart webpage and basically order it, that it's from a third party vendor. So you get stuck with it. So I think I had to return like two microwaves in a row. They stuck me, one in the store and one from that third party vendor. Man, I was frustrated, to say the least, right? So, anyways, so hopefully everybody hears the audio. Y'all want to stop by the chat and say hello? That'd be great. Now, if y'all could help me, 13 more subs is all I need on YouTube. So, anyways, a lot of things are going, you know, a lot of difficult situations. I know a lot of people, and I still have a lot to be thankful for Thanksgiving yesterday, and definitely thanked our Heavenly Father for everything He's given us all. And I talked about that was on the Wednesday night before it got to midnight. I did the last live stream, but yeah, I'm very, very disappointed. This looks like probably now I bought this directly in the store and I have my receipt, so I should have no problem turning this thing back in because I do believe it's defective. It wasn't the most expensive Turtle Beach, and I know there's Turtle Beaches out there you can spend like 200 bucks on them. This one only cost like 28 bucks, but it had a mic, it's got the headset, So, like I said, I have one at home. It's pretty old, and I never had any problems with it. So, I don't see the volume control on this one. I don't know. Normally, there's like a wheel for the volume control. Okay, let me try this again for people. Please have patience with me. See if I can get this working. Stand by. Microsoft. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to do the old RH again, going back to the days couple of years ago. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to do the old RH again, going back to the days. And I'm gonna have to return this headset. That's very disappointing, you know. That's very, you know. Yeah, I can see the problem. Okay, now it just clicked in. Hold on a second now. I might have fixed the problem. I might have fixed the problem. I don't know. I won't know until I plug this thing in. Okay, I still can't get it to work, so apologize for that. Trying to get that thing to work. That's one of probably my weaknesses. I don't give up, and I'll work for things like this for hours and sometimes hours, and sometimes it's just a dumb mistake that I make, or I should say we make, and some simple oversight, and but I think pretty much this time it's the headset's faulty. Like I said, I bought faulty things from Walmart before and other stores, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I was out today. Normally, I don't go out on the Black Friday, they call it. I don't get out in the crowd and the mobs and the stampedes and all that stuff, But I was out today, and there wasn't that many people. I guess they basically raided those stores really early in the morning, right at like midnight or something, because there's a lot of products still on the shelf. So I didn't see any signs like Black Friday specials or nothing like that. I don't know if they ended them like at noon or whatever. And I showed up around 3. So has anybody got any idea with that is here listening to live stream? But anyways, I'm gonna kind of focus now on the title tonight's live stream. Um, Psyops propaganda, sting ops, cover ups, and deceptions, right? Deceptions. All this stuff is going on now. Kind of reminds me of October 17, 2019, when CNN put out a Moody study. Democrats have to sharpen their attacks on the Trump economy. Democrats need to sharpen their attacks on the Trump economy. Now, I know people have heard this many, many times before, but isn't it amazing how nobody ever really gets into this kind of detail and talks about this information? Isn't it amazing? how much how much control does the deep state have on our media? It seems like they saturate the media with their scripts, right? It seems like they saturate or flood the zone. If you go to, okay, so October 17, 2019, CNN put out a Moody study from top level economists titled Democrats Need to Sharpen Their Attacks on the Trump Economy. Now, think about that. Just think about that in those terms. Just using the headline. You don't even have to go there if you don't want to. But if you get on your browser, you type in uh, the article, the title of the article is CNN, Democrats Need to Sharpen Their Attacks on the Trump Economy. Read the study, the Moody study from top level economists. They were already attacking our economy before hindsight, perfect vision. Of course, what are we in now? This is 2025. What's happening in 2026? They're preparing to basically run the same operations again. The same people, both foreign and domestic. But this time, they're going to make sure that another Make America Great Again candidate, in my opinion, is ever going to serve on office again. And both sides are in on this, both sides of the aisle. And most of it's just because of vehement hatred of the man, Donald Trump. You know, they're back to the same old stuff. I think they're running circles around because they're still embedded. The deep state is still embedded in every single agency. They probably still talk as garbage about the president of the United States now as they ever did. They're probably all in line and they get their little water cooler, at their water cooler or standing around their water cooler. They probably have the same old stupid jokes and they probably come up with new ones. I've never seen this bad. Now, everybody pretty much knows me personally. I did not like Barack Obama, but we basically held our breath and pinched our nose, and we basically put up with 12 years of that guy, because not only did he serve 2 terms with Joe Biden as vice president, he served a 3rd term as Joe Biden as vice president too. From January 20th of 2021 to January 20th of 2025. And I don't care who believes that or not. I have the liberals, deep state, one of their authoritative figures, the founder of Snopes, Nicholson. I forgot his first name. I think it's Daniel Nicholson. I can't remember his full name. But everybody can go look it up. Obama 3rd term as vice president. They never intended on Obama being a vice president. Not one second. Barack Obama was an intel construct. Everything, every operation, which includes Operation Neptune Spear. And I want some of these people out there to listen very closely. Your sting operation on good, honest people is not working. You're spinning your wheels. You should be out there running your stupid operations on people that are evil, that are the real terrorists, not innocent, good people. Try to set them up in your stupid sting operations. You know what I mean? There are certain things that, I really have no tolerance. And I don't even like to discuss them. But believe me, we can out a lot of these people. But we don't need any more division. These people are going to have to decide for themselves whether they're going to come off the sidelines and put on the white hat, the analogy, white hat and the black hat. It's just an analogy. White hats are supposed to be the good guys and gals, and the black hats are supposed to be the bad guys and gals. So you need to come off get off your rear end for a change. and stop putting out your stupid propaganda, you might start to try to help our country, because we need your help. We need both sides of the aisle to come to the realization they brought in about 20 million people. Majority of those 20 million people just in 4 years alone. We already know the background. We already know the organizations, how they were funded, how they were brought here. We know who's behind facilitating and directing the invasion into our country that has caused all these deaths. Now, you might sit there, well, we want to legalize, drugs or whatever. We want to legalize marijuana. Well, good for you. You want to smoke dope, right? And get that THC because you think you're 14, 15 foot tall when you go into the bar, right? When you're chasing skirts. Let's be real here. I know who you are. I know who people are like that. I grew up with them. I lived with them. I worked with them. I went out to the bars myself, to the sport bars and all that other stuff. Went to barbecue parties. I know how these people act, and that's how they think. They get that THC sit in their blood, and they feel like they're a werewolf. They can rip somebody apart. And then, you get the fentanyl, and how many people that fentanyl has killed, and they're sitting there putting out this propaganda every time that Trump takes action or the military takes action to protect our own people. They come out with this stupid propaganda. And I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care who likes it or who don't. MAGA people, every MAGA people, every person in MAGA, make America great again. It is not a cult. The people calling it a cult were in a cult for their own personal interest for years. They didn't give a care in the world of all these deaths, including the most innocent amongst us. They didn't care anything at all about the trafficking, human trafficking, which included child trafficking, sex trafficking, you name it. They could care less about any of that. And you sit these people out there, they sit out there and they run their stupid sting operations online like we can't see through it. And I don't care what you like about me or not. I don't care how many people you get from the veterans, whatever, and get on your side. I don't care how many you get on your side. I have professional knowledge myself. I don't go out there and brag about it because that's not who I am. Only 13 more followers. You think they're going to let me get to 500? 13 more followers. That's it. 487 locked in. Went down to 450, goes back up. They make sure I don't get to 500. Okay, let's talk about one of those operations. Should I even talk about it? Will people even care? No, you can circle the wagons all you want to. We knew who Barack Obama was. I was warned back in 2008. I had no idea why a lot of these people were working for him, running these ops for him. What about Operation Neptune Spear? He was in his golfing attire, right? When they picked him up in a golf cart, brought him back to the White House? Sitting in the White House Situation Room in his golf attire. By the way, remember Leon Panetta said that the live feed was cut. They couldn't have seen the actual operation take place. Remember Seymour Hersh the Pulitzer Prize winner. He said the whole official story was basically BS. Remember that? We went in and we really dug hard to see what the heck happened, to see if we lost any of our special forces in that operation. I'm even being taken down because people in that field are attacking people like this channel, and they basically censored me off a social media channel because I just showed some pictures that the Wall Street Journal put out. I shared some pictures of the Wall Street Journal after the attack in Pakistan. It was on fire. They talk about one helicopter going in, right? Because of the wind or whatever. They went in a vacuum and they crashed that helicopter, right? Well, what about the other helicopter? Or the drone? What was it? Or which is it? Drone or helicopter? What about the barrel at sea moment? Okay, here's the helicopter that they're talking about now. Now, yeah, I believe you. You might even put C4 in there. Yeah, on the avatar photograph, that's the remains. Okay, look at the wall. That was on the inside of the compound. We already know that. I've already looked at it. Did you look at the wall in North Carolina? That CIA Mock bin Laden compound? Did you look at the wall in that compound? Well, we got some people that were boots on the ground that looked at the wall at the CIA mock compound in North Carolina. Do you know it looks identical to this picture right here? You want to start playing games with people like that are in the know? You want to send your goons up and hurt us? Good, honest people that just want to know the truth? You want to run a sting operation. You know, setting somebody up is one of the most easiest things to do. You can wait because they're already conducting surveillance on all of us. As soon as you leave your home, you got these expert, they can pick your door locks and be in your freaking home in a matter of seconds. Plant something in your home and go, oh, we got RH now. We know how y'all operate. It's sick, it's evil. Yeah, go check out Bin Laden mock compound in North Carolina. I forgot the exact place. They were training there so they could run the sim over live operation. And let me say this again. RH could be wrong about everything. He could be wrong about everything. The barrel at sea moment, the two helicopters. Okay, by the way, the next picture, avatar picture, I'm going to show you. What is it? Just a drone helicopter? Outside the wall or inside the wall? It's outside the wall. Okay, that's obviously not the helicopter that was basically that had that soft landing crash or whatever. It was kind of like it wasn't a very soft landing, I'll tell you that right now, but nobody died, I think, in the landing. I don't know. Trust but verify everything. That's what we have to do. Live stream nearly got taken down again. So, okay, here. What about this helicopter here? Or a stealth drone, surveillance drone. Look at it, people. We don't know if that's North Carolina compound, the CIA compound in North Carolina, or that was in Abbottabad, Pakistan, at so-called bin Laden's compound. Let me just add another truth to this saga here. Remember, this was Barack Obama's operation. If it wasn't his operation, he couldn't say a damn word because he was compromised, and that's the reason why they picked him. That's why the intel community picked that guy to be president for 12 years. Remember the guys? Oh, those 51 intelligence operatives or whatever, 3-letter agency types. Oh, all the Hunter Biden laptop has all the, I'm paraphrasing now, all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Remember that? Remember the title of the live stream tonight? Yeah, you can bust up my credibility. So what? What am I going to lose? Done it before. You can do it again. You have no cons doing that. Setting up my own profile, coming into my own damn home and interrogating me. Oh, you playing to be the victim now. No, he thinks he's a doctor. Let's get doctors on board, the frontline doctors. Oh, this guy thinks he knows everything. You know, he thinks he knows everything. Yeah, what about those? Not a single email back and forth about a bin Laden barrel C at moment. Not a single one. What was the name of that ship? I forgot it. I might remember it later on down the road. You know, and then I don't know, you know. I know there's covert operations. I know there's people that get orders and they follow those orders. Then you got 6 people coming out saying, basically, you got to watch the orders of this administration and whether it's lawful or not. They know what they're doing. That's part of the psychological propaganda operations. They're getting ready just like they got ready in 2019 for 2020. You didn't hear anything about that helicopter that's leaning up against the wall. That Pakistani semi-trailer came up and a crane lifted that up and put it all on the semi-trailer, did y'all? Y'all didn't hear anything about this at all in the Mockingbird media, did you? Oh, there was 2 helicopters? Then how did they get the remains off the ground and take it back to the Carl Vinson? That's the name of the ship. Remember that? There's so many damn holes in this story. I mean, you could drive a Mack truck through. The real bin Laden. Will the real bin Laden stand up? Remember on December 26th of 2001, seeing Fox News put out a report, bin Laden already dead. Okay, that's fine. That was all propaganda from the Taliban, right? Then why did Fox News update the same article in 2015 on January 13th of 2015? Bin Laden already dead. When was Operation Neptune Spear at? Operation Neptune Spear. When was that? What, May 1st, May 2nd, 2011? And Fox News updates that report they put out on December 26th of 2001, just took a couple of months after 9/11, right? Bin Laden already dead. Then they had Operation Neptune Spear. I guess they killed him again, or his double, or whatever. Can you remote view that was a double? Then on January 13th, 2015, Fox News puts out another article. Bin Laden already dead. They didn't change anything. So why did they update a propaganda piece to begin with? In my opinion, because there was a new sheriff coming to town, and they probably knew it because they had the inside. They know the inside game. Probably Rupert Murdoch. They all knew that Trump was going to be elected, not selected. I guess they could trust Trump more than they could Hillary Clinton, right? They could trust him more than they could Hillary Clinton. Maybe they thought they had all the goods against Trump, and they had the whole Mockingbird media working against him while he's running for office, while he got in office, after he got out of office again, after he got back in office again. They're still running the Psyops operation. It's still the same people. You know, these people know what the punishment is for telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help them God, if they even believe in God. So you get out there and you get these people on this little round table, and you boast about assassinations. You know, for the life of me, I don't know anybody that could go out there and not have their channel taken down by putting stuff out there like, well, we're following orders. We're following orders. What about those unlawful orders? Oh, remember, I even discussed this many, many times on this channel, maybe 100 times. Presidential finding. Who helped set up the presidential finding to give the authority to the president of the United States to take part in those, to order the psychological warfare / propaganda operations and the assassinations? Who basically set them up with a presidential finding to give Barack Obama the authority to murder a sitting president or a candidate for president? Who set that up? Now go to Special Activities Center, Political Action Group, and read down to the Political Action Group and read it for yourself. Read it where they need a special presidential finding. Where did Obama get that? From his intel people, the people that got him selected to begin with. Go listen to Tori Berge, Patrick Berge's wife. She worked for John Brennan. She's the one that went in the State Department, according to herself on her own channel. She's the one that went in there and basically wiped some of that information off with a cloth about Barack Obama. Well, one of those pages that she wiped clean, or however they wiped it clean, she said that John Brennan ordered to do it. Is that a lie too? Everything we're discussing, everything that we've researched for all these years, they're all lies. Oh, RH, you should be talking about it. You know, it's very dangerous for you to talk about it. Talk about what? Should I share another avatar photograph? Remember the MH17 that went down in eastern Ukraine, and they immediately blamed Russia for it? Remember that? We got inside word. I got word from NATO people I worked with. It was Kiev that ordered that. Now, that could be false too. I don't know. I'm not read into these programs. If I was, I couldn't even be talking about it, or my butt would be sitting what do you call it? Fort Leavenworth right now.
I'm not trying to cause dissension or sedition. We just want to know the truth. Okay, what do we find out at that crash site of MH17 in eastern Ukraine? There were cadavers. They were still cold. What are you talking about, RH? That's where you take these bodies out of a morgue that are on the ice or whatever in the freezer, and you fly them somewhere, right? And you drop them off, and you set up a crime scene. Remember the crime scene they set up with on Trump at Mar-a-Lago? They set up a crime scene. How come those people haven't been arrested yet? It tells you all you need to know. They're going to protect their own. They're not going to be, listen, people, oh, there's things happening now. There's things happening. What's happening? Oh, we told you just eat some popcorn. All right, you're just watching a movie. Oh, Donald Trump was the president. He was commander in chief during that Afghanistan debacle where we lost, what, 11 men and women in uniform? Then that means President Trump is responsible for all that stuff that happened for the 4 years under Biden. That means he's responsible for the invasion and everything, right? Well, maybe they set him up as the patsy for that too. Who knows? Just like they did Mar-a-Lago. These people vehemently hate him because he took away their gravy train. He took away their retirement dream, right off in the sunset with all their ill-gotten gains. Now, I don't mean all of them. There's a lot of people that are really great in the three-letter agencies that risk their lives every day, even trying to help protect a guy like me. Even if there's no value in their mind of a guy like me, they're still out there trying to protect each and every one of us. I'm not talking about them at all. I served with them, and I don't care if you want to defame my service to my country or not. I don't care. Do it. Go for it. It's your free speech, right? You can libel, slander, defame all you want to. License to Lie, Sidney Powell's book, right? License to Lie. So if we use our imagination, and for all those that have lost their loved ones and those operations, Operation Neptune Spear, any operation covertly in Ukraine or whatever, wherever people are at working covertly to help try to keep us all safe. They picked up on some chatter. There's a type of operation they want to shut down because it could entail the deaths of people, innocent people. And I'm for those operations. Definitely. Remember, this is a law and order channel. Oh, that guy got smart with our guy there, and our guy there just put out a gun and shot him right between the eyes. Well, sounds like the fear tactics are there. I don't know about anybody else, but if I'd done anything any remotely, if it even smelled like RH was doing any of that kind of activity, my butt would be in prison right now. They would make sure of it, one way or the other. It's good. It's good to have a few good friends around you. It really is. So what are they gonna have to do? Oh, this is going to get a little bit more difficult because we got these people over there that have known this character since he was a little baby. So we're gonna have to play this kind of cool on this one. But I heard he's getting sick over there. Yeah, yeah. What's What's the word? Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight. Yeah, he's lost. Yeah, yeah, we can attribute to what? What can we attribute lost a lot of weight? Well, let's see. I don't have anything to do with people that carry around a certain type of what do you call it? Diseases. So let's see. Well, how are we gonna put this together? That's how these people operate. That's how they roll. So what was that other avatar photograph I was talking about? I hope I still have it saved. Yes. Remember the cadavers? Now, when you're working in covert operations, you could be calm silent for months. Months. That's why, and from what I remember, that's why they don't like to select individuals that are in these operations. Very, very compartmental operations. They don't want them involved if they're married, because a lot of them, they have to go and they might slip, right? And discuss an operation and put, a couple words together, and the spouse figures it out. Oh my God, they're going to go there. Oh my God, they're going to do this. Oh, they know what ships are going in or whatever, or how they're going to travel there, and they know a lot, right? It's almost impossible to keep your spouses from knowing about certain things as far as those operations are concerned. They know what they do. They know where they work. They know the dangers of what they do. They know the operation, what's going on around the world. So remember the cadabras is claimed now. It's claimed. Of course, I didn't see it with my own eyes. I didn't touch the cadavers with my own hands and put them in a little plastic bag and put a number on it and write them in the log, where exactly I found them, put that little flag in the ground with a number, right? I didn't do that. So I can't say honestly one way or the other if that actually did happen. Did they plant cadavers on the MH17 plane crash site in eastern Ukraine? Did they? I don't know. Could took the cadavers of those that may have lost their lives in Operation Neptune Spear and planted them where? Extortion 17 crash site. And here at Arlington, here lies the unidentified remains of Extortion 17, Afghanistan, August 6th of 2011. Okay, some higher up in the military, I don't care if Pete Hegseth or Deputy Defense Secretary, I don't care. If y'all don't like what I'm talking about on this channel, tell me, hey, listen, we don't like what you're talking about. I'll stop talking about it. I'll make a public apology. Is that good enough for y'all? Three-letter agencies didn't offer apology to my family members, myself or my neighbors when they interrogated us all for me trying to keep the president safe. Now you think about that. We're even trained in that in the Air Force, especially when you get up to management level. They train you in protection of the president. Well, all right, it's just a few paragraphs you read, and yeah, but it's training. Nevertheless, you got a responsibility. If you hear or you see anything that looks like harm's going to come to the president, it doesn't matter who. It could be Barack Obama, former president. I don't care. From my understanding, you got to notify the U.S. Secret Service. I did my job. I called them up, the headquarters building. They ignore me the first 2 weeks. I call them again. Oh, we want to set you up with an interview. Yeah, I want to provide the information I had so y'all could deem whether it's credible or not. And if it wasn't credible, fine. And I know, well, once we get this information, we can't tell you what's going to happen with it. Have you ever heard that line before? I have. And it's a different situation, though. Think about it. I just moved in my new home. They're interrogating my neighbors, interrogating me in my dining room. Then I call my representative, and the staff member said, well, if you do it again, they're going to do it again. They're going to interrogate you again if you do it again. You know, when you go in and you make you pass official information, what happened in the old days where they had those tape recorders and you start talking about the far as putting together an affidavit and you put it on tape. They record the audio. What happened those days? Well, you can handwrite it. You know how much handwriting I would have to do with a former broken hand? They nearly pulled my damn finger off trying to set my hand. They couldn't set it, right? They couldn't set it, so they wrapped it up in a cast. My hand, my right hand, my arm. They put my arm in a cast, and they waited till I PCS back to the States to Tyndall, and then they operated on my hand. They had to break my hand again and put pins in it, right? It's called a boxer fracture. And they put me in a cast again. And my only means of transportation at that time was where I could ride my motorcycle. I had a motorcycle. So I had like what? I had to drop my cast down and use my two. Oh, he's crying to be a victim. He's crying to be a victim. No, I'm not. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to still be here. So I realize the power these people have. A lot of these people have too much power. That's the problem. It's but anyways, well, he's out there. That's all right, out there again, crying to be a victim again. We're not victims here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, unbelievable. RH is out there trying to glorify violence and glorifying terrorist activities and graphic violence. What a freaking liar. I got I got less followers on that social media platform than I do on this one. But remember, they deplatformed this platform multiple times. Oh, there he goes again. He's crying. He's a victim. Hey, I'm pretty blessed. I'm pretty blessed. But when people do that to shut other people up, right? What's the title of tonight's live stream? What's the title of tonight's live stream? Psyops / propaganda / sting ops / cover ups / deceptions. All of those are going at the same time. All of them. They're running all these operations at the same time. I wonder how many people they've put together in these covert, very highly compartmentalized operations that Barack Obama's administration set up before he left office in 2015. Remember, they reorganized the Special Activity Center. They reorganized how big the political action group could be. They strengthened the political action group. They strengthened the propaganda against American people like ourselves. I'm not the only one in here that's seen all this stuff happen and talked about it before. I'm not the only one. Yeah, 12 years for sure. Yeah, Ken. Yeah. From 2009 to 2013. From 2013, remember in 2013, Robert Mueller was still the FBI director. That's when he left. He left in 2013. I don't know what month in 2013. I don't believe it's the very first day Obama started his second term. That would be January 20th of 2013, if my math is right. But then they brought in James Comey. And the connection, Peter Schweizer's book, Clinton Cash, you can read all the connections he had with her. Extremely careless, right? Instead of criminally negligent, right? Oh, see, they take out the word criminally negligent, right? They just said negligent, right? They left that out too, because that was the standard for what she did. Oh, she was just extremely careless, but no prosecutor in their right mind would take that case because they know they'd end up 6 feet under, or maybe a lot deeper than that under. That was a true statement. Comey made a true statement. But we go back to one law for all of us, right? Where would we be now? Well, we can't do it because she was privileged as she was the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Wow, what a great gig. You know how you remember what they talk about Nancy, the allegations about Nancy Pelosi about the insider trading. I was told from that guy from, I think, Tennessee. I forgot his name. I think he was a congressman from Tennessee. He said she's not even up in the 5%. Wow. So there's a lot of people out there on that gravy train. They don't want to give it up. I wonder if we're paying these congressional representatives that go out there and just lie to us every day. I wonder if they're getting a bonus from the covert propaganda operations to read those scripts, because they're in line with the media. They're directly in line, lockstep with the media. Look up the Operation Lockstep as far as it goes with South America. Look what they had planned for those coming in, or those in South America. Oh, there he goes. He's out there squealing again. He's out there squealing again. Squealing about what? I'm talking about the possibility of dead people that were involved got killed in Operation Neptune Spear. Which helicopter did they fly bin Laden's body out of that compound with? How'd that body get to the Carl Vinson? Does any of that make any sense to anyone else out there? Oh, they just lied about that. They were bingo. They didn't have enough fuel. And they came back and got the remains from bin Laden. The Pakistani government the intel community was cooperating, co-op. They're running a co-op with us, and you know what I mean, in the Sim over Live operation, and yeah, they helped us give us the remains, and yeah, they may or may not flew them to Afghanistan and planted them at that crash site. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure his name is Charlie Strange, the dad of one of those that lost their lives in Afghanistan. Why did they cremate the body? Why did they cremate Crooks' body as quick as they did? What about Ruth? Heard anything from Ruth yet? Who's the shooter that just shot those two National Guards, that guard man and woman? And my heart and prayers goes out for those that lost their loved ones. I think the lady passed away. I don't know if the other National Guard troop passed away or not. And my heart and prayers goes out to them. Now, we got to be careful who we think is our friends. Who we think is our friends. Well, I did this and I did that. I did this and I did that. Yeah, just give him a couple more beers. Oh, no, he's drinking scotch. Oh, that's even better. Give him some more scotch. Start bragging about, here, this is what you got to tell that guy. He's going to open up to you. Yeah. You killed how many people? 40 some odd people? Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that some of them were really bad folks. Really bad folks. I don't have a need to know. I don't need to know. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to turn the channel. I'm going to turn my channel. I don't want to hear it. I'll just following orders. Oh, it leaves open a prompt. They're prompting you, prompting you to brag about something that may or may not have happened. Maybe just hearsay at the bar. Remember Papadopoulos? We forgot who these people are. Who was on Obama's detail? Protective detail. Who's all on Obama's protective detail? I'm not. Hey, listen, protection of the president, that includes if I hear somebody that, talking about some nefarious stuff about any former president, whether I like them or not, I have to report them. So you want to talk about the UCMJ, Captain Kelly? Let's talk about the let's talk about the UCMJ, protection of the president. What are you doing going out there running a Psyops operation against our current president to try to have him murdered? Why are you trying to get people amped up to hate him even more? Because of the Mockingbird media. So were you paid to put out that script, you and those 5 others? Captain Kelly, sir, got a lot of respect for your background. An astronaut. On top of it, a captain, by the way, in the Navy is an 06. They're normally a captain of the ship, right? As far as my knowledge goes with the Navy, I had relatives, close relatives that served in the Navy. A lot of them did a lot of good things in the Navy. They never got recognized. Never saw the DD 214 to this day. Talking about a war zone, why don't you try to climb a volcano to the summit to get geographical, what do you call it? Not geographical. Um, I guess they call them geographical samples. I can't remember the name of it. The actually got from Caltech, but um, if it comes to me, I'll talk about it. But yeah, climbing up to the top of Mount Erebus in Antarctica, that's worse than going into a freaking combat zone. Many combat zones were easier than that. And to climb the summit and save the guy's life to get those samples on top of, and on the way up, they encountered an Arctic storm. He had to basically hammer that 2-man tent in the side of a ridge of Mount Erebus and ride out the storm. After the storm subsided, the captain of the ship, R.K. Irving, ordered a search party to try to retrieve the bodies, to bring the bodies back home. Because they thought that nobody could have survived that Arctic storm. So, right after they called off the search party, the captain was looking through binoculars himself and he saw the person I'm talking about and that Caltech geologist coming down the summit. And the guide was leading. Navy seaman was leading that Caltech geologist down, saved his life, and the geologist had those samples for the largest scientific expedition in U.S. history. Not even a footnote in U.S. Navy history. Not even a footnote. Well, his memory's pretty much gone now. So it's only left up to us to do the right thing. Those that even care. I think about it. I watched him save my brother's life. He saved me from drowning. Saved that Caltech geologist's life. And he says it ain't a big deal. Risking his life to complete the operation. Yeah, that wasn't combat. Wasn't combat. It's something I don't want to know about. He wasn't some, you know, whatever. I don't know. None of us are saints, right? I know what I'd do if I was in a position to do it. Sure wouldn't give him another damn jab. With more aluminum and more whatever, possibly, I don't know, mercury, maybe. Wow. One, there was 22 people viewing when I first started, and I had problems with the mic, the new mic, and they left. I guess, when you can't even talk and through a brand new mic, whatever,
they had nothing to troll. So, well, that's good. It's kind of quiet, but there's only one other person listening. I don't know who it is. Thank that one other person. Now I can't get Rumble back up again. I did share this live stream to True Social. Hopefully it lands on some good ears. Now, you know, I don't expect anybody to come up and talk to me about a classified SIM over live operation. Listen, in some ways, I understand why a lot of people wanted to do it. They wanted to put 9/11 behind us, right? Open a new page, turn the page, right? I understand that. And I understand if you're in a SIM over live operation and it's classified, you can't talk about it. You can't even leave breadcrumbs out there for people to find that do their due diligence. They do their research. They get educated. Um, so let's see here. There's a delay. Now, I pretty much already discussed. Now, the cover ups are going on. I'm sorry to say, I wish I didn't have to say this, but all three branches of our government, there's corrupt people, criminally corrupt people in all three branches of our government. Okay. Judicial, executive, and legislative. There are criminally corrupt people in all of those three branches of our government, which goes down all the way down to the local level, all the way down to the sheriff, all the way down to the police officers. There's a lot of criminally corrupt people out there. Now, a lot. And they've been used to getting away with this stuff for so many years. They're, and they got their operation pretty, it's sealed. Their operations are pretty sealed. You know what I mean? And it's compartmentalized. Whether it's an official operation, criminal operation going on, whatever, highly compartmentalized. The stuff we see on the surface, most of it, you can see through it a mile away, sometimes before some of these people even talk. Like we know if Schiff gets out there before in front of the cameras, he's going to be running. He's part of that psychological warfare operation, right? All this false witnessing against all these other people that are on the other side of the aisle or whatever he just don't like. Maybe they're not as happy or gay as he is, whatever. I don't know. Maybe you just don't like him. But pretty much, that guy, when he gets out in front of the cameras, he's going to lie about something because he's part of the propaganda operation. What's that other guy? Congress, Jamie Raskin. I know every time that guy goes out there in front of the cameras, pretty much every time he opens his mouth, it's going to be a lie, or propaganda. Well, both at the same time. If it's Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, all those people. Now, every now and then, we'll see some of those people on the other side of the aisle. They'll get out there, and I don't know if it's because of ignorance or they're part of the operation, psychological warfare operation, sting operation, whatever, what have you, right? They lie too. They go out there and they lie directly to the American people's face.
So I'm going to talk about Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution again. And I want to remind these people, United States guarantees to each state in the union a Republican form of government and guarantees against invasion and against domestic violence. Who facilitated and directed an invasion into our country from January 20th of 2021 to January 20th of 2025? Statute of limitations running out, men and women, boys and girls. January 20th, 21st, or January 20th of 2016. Wait a minute. No, that's only 1 year. Oh, we still got a while for that, but how long are they going to ride that out? How long are they going to give that DC two-step on that one? Wait a minute. January 20th of 2021, in 5 years, that's January 20th, 2026. Runs out. That clock is ticking. It's clicking. It's ticking. I wish God could slow down that ticking on me. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things I would like to do in this lifetime. Hopefully, you got a med bed that'll go in there and I can lay down and heal my injuries. Heck, there's a lot of things I would like to do. A lot of things. Clock is ticking. You know, it's and all those people out there, you think about all those people. They found out too much, right? Or they learned about something, they saw something, they heard something. How many of those people are no longer with us? And I'm not talking about Echo Sierra, the guy. I heard it from a friend who heard it from another friend who heard it that you're messing around. He walked by. He walked by an office. There's a guy talking on the phone, probably JB, Julia Bravo, on the phone, because he was an analyst, right? So he heard it. He heard from a friend who heard from another friend who that were messing around. That Delta Tango was messing around. Oh, Eric Sierra. No, never mind. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Everybody knew who he was in DC. Only go all the way back to Yale. The Skull and Bones people, right? Yale. Remember that? He was out there in all white protesting against them, basically letting a professor go. Go read up on his background. And then the other guy in uniform, Lieutenant Colonel. I only remember Vin and the man behind that Vin, right? I only remember that. Oh, he had firsthand. He was sitting right there in that communication room where they were conducting. They were basically, what do you call that? Colluding with Russia every hour on every hour of every day. They colluded with Russia. Make sure that red phone the lines. They used to call it a red phone, right? Now, the Smithsonian has a magazine article. Go check it out about the red phone and that communication room where they talk to the Russians every hour on the hour. Let me ask this question again. In these Psyops operations and these covert operations they run, who told Kislyak what questions to ask General Flynn when he was on vacation in Dominican Republic with his wife? So anybody out there, raise your hand. Do you think that Ambassador Kislyak, the Russian ambassador to the United States, you think he can just on his own, as a maverick, call up the incoming national security advisor of the Trump administration, call him up while he's on vacation in the Dominican Republic with his wife, and what questions to ask him? Right? Who was listening on that phone call? Vin, He-Man, BIT, please, right? Really? That's pretty noble. That's pretty honorable of you there, Vin. Yeah. So who was listening on that phone call? Who leaked the classified phone call between President Trump and the president of the Philippines, which endangered their lives, the lives of President Trump and anybody that was going to Manila with him on that trip? Who mobilized the ISIS cell into the Philippines? Oh, y'all putting on another operation and you're going to follow the orders now again and take out a good person because they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help us God. So you want to take us out now, right? Are you proud of yourselves? Well, all right, you're in way over your head. You're in way over your head. Far as what? Yeah, when I drowned and my dad saved my life, yeah, I was in way over my head. I drowned. I didn't remember from getting plucked out of the lake and brought up on the shoreline, and they pumped out all that water out of my stomach and I began to breathe again. I just remember sitting back up on the towel on the beach there after I drowned. I was just fine. How many of y'all been choked out till you actually died and your spirit left your body? How many of y'all been choked out and your spirit left your body? You don't feel the pain. You don't feel the pain. Once your spirit leaves, the body don't have that spirit anymore. You don't feel the pain till you come back in that body, if you're lucky to. Yeah, that's a good way to silence somebody, right? Well, he's playing the victim card. He's playing the victim card. Yeah, man. Dude, you're a badass. You're a badass. You're Billy Badass out there. Good for you, man. All right. So I've been rambling on for about what, 2 hours now? These people need to be held accountable. If they aren't held accountable, That means they're going to allow them to do exactly what they've done before, which is going to be continue to murder people, innocent, good people. They're going to continue to do it, right? Whether we like it or not. And there ain't nothing going to happen to them. Look at Comey. He got off scot-free, right? I don't know. You guy can go out there and put those messages on the ground, right? People like him, it seems to be, are a dime a dozen that hate Trump. You know, I was going to say today, what gave me really a great feeling. I wasn't even going to approach the dude and thank him or whatever, or make a, you know, a compliment to the dude. He was there maybe with his girlfriend, maybe a brother or two friends, in front of a grocery store. And sunshine, beautiful day today, nice and cool and breezy. And the guy could be like, you know, maybe 18, 17, maybe 16, maybe around that age, wearing a 45 to 47 hat, right? I went by, I was going to go the other way and I wasn't going to say nothing. And I kept thinking, no, why? Give the guy a compliment. That gives me hope. Thank God there are people out there like that. I know they're out there. There's bad apples everywhere, but I have not seen a bad apple MAGA Republican since Trump came along. Haven't seen one. I'm sure there are some out there. You know, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. We can't stereotype any full group of people. Like, you can't say on that side of the aisle. It's both sides of the aisle. All three branches of government, all the way down to the local level. There's bad apples everywhere. I hate to say it, there are. I just pray that there's more good apples out there than bad apples. And we need to pray. We need God to, for divine intervention. We need to pray that God divinely intervenes with our country, or these people are going to destroy our country. I'm not out there. I don't like to put out fear porn. I don't. But what I'm seeing right now, there's not a lot of stuff going on. Could you imagine? Let's see, how many years should we go back? Go back to Abraham Lincoln's days. Do you think that they would put up with this? The Abraham Lincoln administration, you think they would put up with congressional representatives, former presidents, former attorney generals setting up an invasion into our country, which caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people? When we're talking about fentanyl alone, and not a single one of them were held accountable? Are there so many people in our government that hate Trump because he took away the gravy train, that they're willing to do anything, even stuff they know is wrong? They've broken all the rules, believe me, to go after President Trump. And you can say, oh, Crooks was a lone wolf. You can scream that all the way you want to. Scream it all the way to the bank if you want to. Get your money for your ill-gotten gains. Who allowed them to get up on the damn roof? There was people screaming out. Remember, it goes back to protection of the president. You know what my job was to do as a veteran? If I saw a guy laying in prone position on that roof, I ought to be shouting at the top of my lungs, get that president off that stage. A shooter, 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 shooter. Okay, I got to calm down. I'm raising my voice. I don't want to wake up my neighbors. So, oh my gosh. There's so many chances. Even the first lady said, well, if they knew that guy, why didn't they take him off the stage? Why didn't they take him off? Why did they allow him to keep talking up there? Oh, that was only class RH. That would be my responsibility if I didn't do it. And I got investigated. I got pulled in by the FBI, and there was a lady standing next to me. She said, "I saw that guy. He was wearing that what do you call that? The green T-shirt with a American flag, a subdued green T-shirt with American flag on there." I told him that guy was up there on the roof. He said, "Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." No, that guy with the green shirt, that subdued green shirt with that American flag on his shoulder, I would have screamed as loud as I could, much louder than, because I don't want to wake up my neighbors or my loved ones or whatever. I would have screamed at the top of my lungs. I got that president off that stage and into that beast or whatever, and I would have got him a wall of coverage, a human wall of coverage around him to protect him. Remember, another guy died in that. Corey Coppertone. Forgive me if I messed up the name. No, look at all those videos of all those people and the police officers just running around. Why didn't they call right then? Why didn't they scream? Why didn't they fire warning shots off in the air? Do something. I know they probably can't do fire off warning shots, but scream to the loudest they can. Get on that damn walkie-talkie to get the president off the stage. There's a possible shooter up on the American Glass Research Company building. But the roof was too sloped, right? When did they first spot the shooter? It appears to me they allowed him to fire off those first shots, and then they killed him, right? Yeah, hello, Ken. Appreciate you being here. It's like the last of the Mohegans on this channel, right? It's you, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I, and Ken. So we make up four, right? So, hey, Tracy, great to see you here. So we're just talking about uh, why nobody screamed to the top of their lungs to get Trump off that stage. I don't care. And Melania Trump looked at it herself. Could you imagine? You know, could you imagine if that was your dad, like you're Barron Trump or Don Jr., and you're seeing that he's being shot at and he's being tackled, right, and rushed off to the hospital, and you didn't see it all? Could you imagine that? What a horrible feeling that is. Then the thing with Crooks, right? No, Ruth. Ruth, the other thing. Oh, he's a lone wolf too. Yeah, what about Crooks? He's got foreign apps on his phone. Was all that a lie? See, when you want to go out there and mess up the credibility of an investigation like that, you can go out there and say stuff like that too, right? Oh, he had two foreign apps on his phone. Yeah, German foreign app and Belgium foreign app, right? Where's NATO headquarters at? Who was working with NATO officials? Who was actually going to Congress, meeting up with congressional representatives, right? And trying to get funding for weapons like Stinger weapons to Ukraine? Whatever happened with that guy? Oh, do y'all know, Tracy or Ken? Do y'all know if that if the National Guardsman is still alive? I know the lady passed away. My heart and prayer goes out to that lady's loved ones, that National Guard lady that died. Really, if he's still alive, we need to pray for that guy. Definitely, he's in critical condition. Remember, let's see here. Hold on a second. I'm getting slack on changing out the avatars. Apologize for that. Okay, a lot of people are getting sick in Florida again. Now, remember, it was Bill Gates that basically put the proposal forward to be basically a contractor for the government to spray calcium carbonate into the atmosphere or air, into our skies to basically reflect the sun's rays back up on, yeah, I haven't heard anything either. I just heard that Trump put out the thing that basically told us that the lady died. One of those two people that was shot. And this guy ends up working for the CIA. Yeah, that's a terrorist activity, right? After this, is it kind of, it's not funny at all, right? But isn't it suspicious after those six people come in and say, don't listen to basically the orders of President Trump until it goes by our desk first or whatever? Remember, Milley said the same thing. He told the other Joint Chiefs, he's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs staff. He told the other Joint Chiefs if Trump ordered the boots on the ground, military boots on the ground, it had to go through him first, and he would decide whether or not it was a lawful order or not. That's the reason why they were able to breach the Capitol building. And they blamed it all on Trump. I think they need to put General Milley back in uniform along with Captain Kelly and those other, anybody else involved in this operation to take down the president. I'm talking about Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, all of them, right? Who leaked that classified phone call between Trump and Duterte, the president of the Philippines, that endangered the life of President Trump? Who was behind mobilizing the terror cells into the Philippines where they tried to attempt, or at least they were proceeding to attempt to take a life of our president? That goes all the way back to 2017. Still haven't heard anything about that. So this is just my opinion, right? It's just a theory. That's the reason why they didn't leak the phone call between Zelensky and Trump, right? So Schiff could put out that parody. So he kept on putting out that parody. Well, you leaked that phone call between you and Zelensky, right? So we leaked the phone call. No, they did that beforehand. Well, you did it. We did it. Now it's offset and penalty. No, that's not the way it works, Adam Schiff. They still haven't been held accountable for that yet. Thank God he had some Secret Service people that stopped that a potential attack in Manila. I think it was November of 2017. So look at these guys, people. Look at that avatar photograph. I shared that many times. It looks like a checkerboard. That's Central Florida. That's looking, let's see, that's looking west towards the Gulf of America way, right? You can't tell me those aren't chemtrails. Those are normal contrails. Normal contrails dissipate. They don't linger like that, float all the way to the ground. Now I'm going to share a recent one. A recent one. I talked about this a few live streams back. This is a recent one. Look at that one. Now look at the recent one. Look at those chemtrails. Those aren't contrails. If you could see, that's the sun. And somebody took some pictures of the northern lights, and they got, or a moon or whatever, and they got the some type of reflection like that. You know, that's actually a picture of the sun with the lens reflection, like the glare or whatever. But in the background, you'll see all those lines in there, and you'll see that one streak, like to the right, from like what would be the sun to the horizon, right? Look at that. Now that was traveling west on I-4 going towards Tampa from Central Florida. Those are chemtrails too. That was just a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. I took that photograph. I had to pull off the exit, safely pull off the exit to get that photograph. I got another one too, but this one you can see it pretty clear in the on the horizon. Now it was really hard with the glare to see it, but I saw it. And these aren't normal contrails. These are, if you can see, there's like a little, like a thin line in the background right below the sun. You'll see it going up, like it looks like a triangle opening the blue sky. You'll see a little thin line. Those chemtrails are being through aerosol dispersion methods. They're being basically shot out through aerosol dispersals about 30,000 feet in the air, and they're not dissipating. They're floating all the way down to the ground. And whenever they drop them, or they conduct those aerosol spraying, or whatever you call it, dispersals, they basically totally saturate the airspace above them. Now they could be trying to cloud seed. Now, if they're cloud seeding, now I support cloud seeding for droughts and that kind of thing. But, I think there needs to be more oversight on it to make sure that's what they're actually doing. Now, we've been in a drought in Central Florida for about a month now, if not longer. All the grass is dying, and we can't, when it starts to dry up like that and no rain, we can't run our sprinklers and that kind of thing to water our grass. But it definitely negatively affects our agriculture. We got a lot of agriculture in Florida, especially around that area I was at. Plant City is the strawberry capital of the world, and we got the orange groves and all that kind of thing, citrus, groves and all that stuff. So, not to mention all the other crops and all the other negative effects these droughts have on Florida. But I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. If it was me and I was basically read into it, okay, these are just for cloud seeding operations, and we want trying to get it to rain. But isn't it kind of funny that this year, during the so-called hurricane season, we didn't get a single hurricane? Did they stop it? Was there too much light shined on those operations? If they do have that capability, which I do believe they do, because they've been working on it. I think it was even Lyndon Johnson while he's president, saying he who controls the weather can control the world. I think actually Lyndon Johnson put out that statement. That was what, over 65 years ago, 70 years ago. He who controls the weather controls the world. I think that's who, maybe Lyndon Johnson was quoting somebody else, but I'm pretty sure I watched the video with him saying that. So now for people that say they don't basically conduct chemtrail operations, just think about the Agent Orange they were spraying in Vietnam. Think about the crop dusters. So it's common sense that they do that, but you know, for whatever reasons they might have a very good reason, and RH may not need to know. And I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Okay. So I got my theories that might, let's just say this, and this is out there in the public domain. This is the reason why I can talk about it. But we used to drop what they call angel hair. And angel hair is like, yeah, like it says, really thin strands of like hair, but they're really long. And they drop them out in bundles. And that hair is made up of aluminum. So how much that aluminum got in our, they drop it offshore when they run these live exercises. They used to do that during when I was working for NORAD, but that's all public domain stuff. So because what was happening, people were noticing they have like lakefront property or property on the Gulf of America or the uh, Atlantic coast home or whatever, or Pacific coast. So they would see these strands basically end up on the beaches, right? So, it could affect the fish and everything. So I don't know uh, how bad of an impact that those operations were having during those training exercises. We had sim over live operations, conducting those dropping of those bundles of chaff, we call it, or angel hair. So, like I said before, that's kind of interesting to read if you want to go out there and check that out. Yeah, we did conduct those operations. So we did conduct uh, Agent Orange chemtrail chemical dispersal and the aerosol dispersals and over Vietnam, basically. So we know that happened. Anyways, so I think I've gone on, I rambled on long enough. I hope I wasn't too loud. I hope I didn't wake anyone. And if I did, apologize for that. So when I get upset about this stuff, I don't expect anybody to debrief me on this stuff. No, they can't do it because I don't have a need to know, right? I don't have a need to know. Well, they'll bring in somebody like Tucker Carlson, right? If you tell me anything, I'll shut my mouth. Maybe I should be saying any of this stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing I won't do. I wouldn't go out there and brag about how many targets I took out. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And if I did something, I'd know, well, you can't go back to hindsight perfect vision, right? You got to go back to the time, to the era. And these people really believe this stuff about Kennedy, for example. They really believed it. They'd have done anything, right? Now, and to go out there and put out something like, oh, he was leaking the daily intel briefings to Moscow. through back channels. Now, come on now. How do you know that? That's kind of, I would say go to Representative Luna. If you got some problems, I forgot her full name. Somebody can put her name in the chat. I appreciate it. If you got any information like that, go to someone and go to a skiff. Okay? Go to a skiff. Now, why it impacts me? Why do I even care? Well, first of all, he's working back channel communications to keep us from getting into a possible nuclear holocaust. That's common sense. Okay, people? I supported that. I would support Trump doing it. And they kept Trump in a box. You call them up and I'm gonna see. Did you say that to him, Lindsey Graham? You said, I'm gonna see that you're impeached myself, right? Remember, Lindsey Graham said if Trump fired Mueller, he should have done it. Should have fired Mueller. This is all BS, right? Lindsey Graham would have helped lead the impeachment himself. Why? Because of abuse of power? Who was abusing their power? It wasn't President of the United States at the time abusing his power. It wasn't candidate Donald Trump abusing his power. He didn't have power to abuse it while he was a candidate Trump. And remember, they were given two separate intel briefings, one to Hillary Clinton and one to Donald Trump. What's all that about? What, there's two different intel operations going on? That's right. There was an intel operation to take out candidate Donald Trump to ensure that Hillary Clinton got elected, right? They had that operation go on. They ran 90% of the Mockingbird media scripts were all negative towards Trump. I think he said 95% of it was negative. They even altered the Smith-Mundt Act in preparation to ensure that their selected presidents get in office, right? They passed it through the National Defense Authorization Act to fund it. The psychological warfare propaganda operations. During the same time that they helped brokered the deal to overthrow Yanukovych in Ukraine, which started the war between Russia and Ukraine to begin with. That's why they didn't want Trump in office. And because Hillary Clinton colluded with Russia, or as far as I know, the Clintons did, maybe, I don't know, colluded with Russia. As far as Peter Schweizer's book, Clinton Cash, with Uranium One. We've already exposed that. How come they won't be held accountable? We already know who's behind the surveillance, the illegal surveillance on Donald Trump, because they had the presidential funding. They set up the presidential funding for Obama to do that. And it sounds like they set up an operation, and they might want to cover it up all they want to, but we still see what happened. Remember, Cheadle never even looked at a site security plan. She never looked at one of them. That's criminal negligence. And from my understanding, that day in Butler, they pulled a lot of the detail off of Trump, and they gave it to Jill Biden, right? Remember? And she was in a building, right? She wasn't out there, where everybody could see him out in the field, like at Butler, right? She was in a building, a lot easier to be protected. I got videos of them all running to their cars from, it looked like they were in a stadium or something, running through all these these rooms, whatever, and going to their cars because they got the message that there's an attempt on President Trump's life. So, anyways, I hope this doesn't ruffle any feathers out there. There's a lot of people I like out there, even though I do have disagreements. I may very strongly disagree with some of the stuff that's coming out there now, and I don't like it. You know, I know you can't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, if God isn't in the equation for you. So, you know what I mean? But wouldn't it be a perfect it would be a perfect world if everybody can go out there and tell the truth, right? Hold those people accountable. And I'm not talking about really, really punish them and like the most highest extent of the law. But these people need to be punished. They need to be held accountable lawfully, constitutionally. And remember, because of Donald Trump's constitutional duties while he's president and commander in chief, Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution applies. If somebody broke the law as far as Article 4, Section 4, and they facilitate, now listen to this includes prompting up communists and funding communists to basically hold high level government positions. I don't care if anybody likes this or not. The guy's a self-avowed communist. What is Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution state? The United States shall guarantee to each state in the Union a republican form of government. Is socialism a republican form of government? No, it's the opposite. What makes it the opposite? What does a republic? How is a republic an opposite of socialism or communism? Because communism decides who can operate a business and who can't, right? Who can own property and who can't. Basically, from my understanding, you can't own private property in communist or socialist countries without the approval. Now, we do have guidelines, right? And in a way, some of it, in my opinion, like property taxes, I believe we should have that's not a republic when you're paying taxes on your own property that you bought. Now you think about you got state taxes, you got um, local taxes, like the county tax where I'm at, it's like 7%. So everything I go buy that's not like food, like you can't be like prepared food, right? Like fast food, I think they charge you in taxes on fast food. But if you go buy groceries, right, like stuff you have to cook, whatever, there's no taxes on that on food, but there's taxes on uh, anything like you go out buy a TV, you go buy a vehicle, a car, you go buy a mixer or something like that. Those are those are items that you buy that you're charged local taxes on. That goes to the county tax. And when we go fill up our tanks at the gas pump, so much of that goes to federal. I need to have the breakdown. I like to have the breakdown of taxes, the state taxes, the federal taxes, and the local county taxes that you pay for getting for a gallon of gas, whatever. Okay, so I really hope this helps. And yeah, I know it takes time. I know it takes time. I've heard all the excuses before. Uh, really, now on the local level, I do have to give uh, a salute out to certain sheriffs in Central Florida, uh, freeing. I think they freed. I think it was 21 children, or it could have been more. I have to go back and look. Maybe next time on the next live stream, I'll tell y'all the number, but it was a pretty substantial number. Even whether it's 200 or 21, they saved these kids from trafficking. Thank God, right? There's a whole lot more out there left to be saved. Okay. So we need to pray for that, those operations, that they are successful and those kids are brought to safety. And, you know, pray for our country, you know, pray for divine intervention. Because remember, bringing in 20 million people into our country, the majority of those people, we don't know who they are. Even if it's just 10% of that figure, right? That's 2 million people could be here, like that guy that shot up those National Guard heroes, right? Killed that one. I don't know if the other one, is there anybody here now? Did the Is the guy still alive? That National Guard guy that got shot by that guy from Afghanistan? Hopefully he's still alive. But last time I checked, he was in critical condition. The lady died, unfortunately. Okay. Write me a nasty letter. I don't care what you do. Anything I say here on this channel you don't like, put it in the comment section, as long as you're respectful. I respectfully, you don't have to go through, I respectfully disagree, RH, about what you said about this, that, and this, and this. This is the reason why. Okay, but before you do that, in a case like Operation Neptune Spear, listen to the evidence I provided you. I'm going to share these photographs again one more time. There wasn't just one helicopter. And the story kind of like matches the information that a local Pakistani guy saw, viewed with his own eyes. Now, that could be disinformation too. I agree with those people that believe it. Well, you can't believe what that guy says either. Right, you can't. Trust but verify, right? Don't trust him, but verify. Okay, come on, change. Okay, this photograph right here. Now, if the information I shared, now this is supposed to be in, this is a Wall Street Journal photograph. And I'm not glorifying violence at all. So people want to shut me up, they fine. Wall Street Journal put out these photographs after that attack, after that raid in Pakistan. That's one of ours. It came in. Now, Hillary Clinton said that came in outside and had a light like crash outside the compound. This is inside the compound. Now, as far as I remember, there's a photograph out there of the CIA mock bin Laden compound in North Carolina that had the same burn marks on their wall, and that compound looked identical to the one in Abbottabad, Pakistan. That's why it makes me believe whether that marks were the same inside that compound in North Carolina, the same as the one inside the compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, whether it was or wasn't, whether it wasn't, I do believe the operation was a sim over live operation to make sure they did not have a failure like Operation Eagle Claw. Go back and look at the Operation Eagle Claw where we tried to basically, where President Carter tried, he ordered the rescue of those hostages, and we lost 7 people. I think one of those 7 was Iranian. we may have lost 7 of our own in that operation due to complications with sandstorms, I believe it was, and a refueler flying and crashing into one or the other. I think Chinooks at the time. I can't remember all of that. That's been quite a long time ago. That operation was Jimmy Carter. I think I was already on active duty working for NORAD at the time. So yeah, I think it was um, right before President Reagan became president, January 20th of 1981. So I was definitely on active duty. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I was working for NORAD at the time. So, anyways, that's Operation Eagle Claw, and I'm going to show you the reason why they could not have another failure Operation Eagle Claw, and the reason why I do believe Operation Neptune Spear was a sim over live operation. Why, RH? Well, in this next avatar picture, look at their faces. Their face. Now you can go out there and get this photograph yourself, and there won't be that circular one where you don't see Joe Biden and other people like John Brennan in the background there, and what's the other guy? I forgot the other guy. His name comes to me. But every single person in that room had something to lose or gain based on the outcome of that Operation Neptune Spear. In my opinion, to have it safeguarded in case it did go south, they they basically ran the sim feed into the White House Situation Room. And being compartmentalized as it was, that operation, the shooter may not even known the target he or she shot. I'm pretty sure it was a he, was even bin Laden himself, because they had plenty of time to move him based on the evidence I've heard from as far as Kurt Weldon is concerned. And if you don't believe Kurt Weldon, then put him under oath. Put him under oath. Don't blame RH for listening to what Kurt Weldon had to say. He seems to be pretty credible about a lot of other things. James Clapper was the guy I forgot. Now, and look at look at Barack Obama. For those that served under Barack Obama during those operations, Secret Service, covert operations. Admiral Raven was he promoted after the operation? I'm not falsely accusing anybody of any wrongdoing. Everyone's presumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Don't see Joe Biden's face there. You see, if you could really zoom in on that picture and get the original picture, look at their faces. Now, if you just witnessed the taking out of the number one terrorist mastermind, the guy behind 9/11, would you look like that? Look at the body language. Are they cheering? They go, oh, well, that's a great movie, RH. You want some of this popcorn? So listen, we got this guy out there. He's caused stirring up a lot of trouble. He's out there rocking the boat pretty hard. Pretty hard? Nobody listen. You got this channel wrapped down, throttle bent, a throttle back, where there's the only people that come in mass are the trolls that y'all send into this channel to cause disruption, right? Make it look like I going off my rocker, right? With all the crazy stuff they do and say. But anyways, Yeah, I can't go over like where I used to go read my source references at this where I'm at now. I can't do that. Well, anyways, I'd like for y'all to pray for Helen. She had a stroke on September 1st, and you're working with somebody also with dementia at the same time, Alzheimer's. Can be very stressful. I lost 15 pounds since September 1st. 15 pounds. And I didn't really need to lose a single pound because when you're only muscle and bone, you got maybe 2% body fat. What's left? Bones, right? Bony RH. So I'd like to get 13 more people because I do need, I mean, money is just flying out the windows for everything. You know what I mean? Helping people out that are in need of help, and I don't mind doing it. And I'm not trying to brag about it at all. There's other. I said there may be a time I'd want to be um, monetized. So if I get 13 more people over on YouTube, and I might have to tone down, de-escalate my voice a little bit, right? Um, but I don't know. You know, I have a living soul. I think y'all would y'all rather hear the original RH or fake RH? It's just who I am. Yes, Tracy, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm like 6 foot tall. I'm down to 150. Man, I haven't been this light since like 12 or 13 dang years old. Actually, I was older than that. I packed on 20 pounds of muscle in basic training at Lackland Air Force Base, Texas. I joined the Air Force at 17. I was 18 when I went to my technical training school at Biloxi, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi. And then, let's see, yeah, I was 79 to 81. So I served under President Reagan and Carter. Carter was the first president. When I came in on active duty, Jimmy Carter was our president. So I do have, thank you, Tracy. I really appreciate that. You know, I really appreciate, and you guys have been in here, guys and gals both. I'm not saying you're a gal, Tracy. You know, you guys have been here from the very beginning, you know, and I don't have, you know, even with this channel at the very beginning, I don't know if y'all remember, I had mic problems and it was like statically, and I never did a live stream. And on uh, a Veterans Night, I went from I was watching Liberty Warrior Nation, and a guy said he's going to be running a live stream, and any veteran wants to come up on the panel, he'd invite them up and give them the link. And I went over to his channel and the Search for Truth, and he invited me up on the panel. And the first time I really my voice was heard in a like in a with a large audience, right? So, anyways, that was the first time, and that was about 3, maybe 4 years ago now. I can't remember how long ago. It's been a while now, but since then I've been trying to do it. Now, today I went out and bought a new Turtle Beach, and for those that came in later, I know Tracy and Ken. I think you came in later too. You didn't get to hear that, but I bought a Turtle Beach headset with a microphone. Normally I have Xbox, and it's I think I see the problem right here. Yeah, this is either a return or defective unit. Where the mic plugs in at, there's like a hole. Like somebody drilled a dang hole in it or something, or it broke. So I got this is defective. So I had a Turtle Beach. I was going to go live and probably share my video too as well. Let's get there. And change out that avatar real quick. Now remember the other helicopter. Now, if anybody knows, is that a stealth drone surveillance helicopter or is that a special forces helicopter that was part of the operation in Pakistan called Operation Neptune Sphere? Or was that outside the compound of the mock CIA compound, bin Laden compound in North Carolina? That's the question I have. So far, nobody's answered that question yet. So there's also another, it's not really a game, it's a tactic they play. They won't go to a small channel like this because they'll give us credibility, right? They don't want to give you credibility. They don't want to give us credibility. Okay, remember the other helicopter. Special Forces operator said he put C4 in it so they wouldn't leave behind anything that's classified. Yep, that's normal operation, standard operating procedure to take out something that could have. But now look at this helicopter. Now this looks like a, I don't know if it's a UH-60, what type of helicopter this was, Black Hawk or whatever, right? Helicopter. I don't know. But what looks more, if you look at a Black Hawk, and now look at this next helicopter I'm going to show you. This is, remember, this is Wall Street Journal photographs they obtained after the raid in the compound, supposedly in Pakistan, Abbottabad, Pakistan. Okay, now what looks more technologically advanced? This, now that's a normal rotor, right? Black Hawk, whatever. Now look at this helicopter. Look at the stealth features on that helicopter. Now look at the wall. Look how big that is. Don't underestimate that. Look at the character that's bending over there. You could probably fit 3 or 4 people in that helicopter there, right? Or is that a drone? Well, it's high tech stuff, ain't it? Now, wouldn't you put C4 on that helicopter and the other helicopter? Maybe there wasn't enough people left after that helicopter exploded and those people died in that operation. Maybe. I'm just saying, maybe. I don't know. Now, remember, if you go research MH17, the crash site, type in your browser cadabras. Now it's reported that they found cadavers, which are cadavers are people that are already dead that are put on ice for whatever, for later autopsy or whatever, to keep the body from decomposing. Okay, to basically try to get identity off of them, whatever the case may be. So was some of the bodies put on ice? Now, Pakistan worked with the US government to get that stealth helicopter back. A semi trailer pulled up alongside it. A crane came up and picked up that stealth helicopter and put it on a semi trailer right outside that Pakistan in Abbottabad. That was outside the compound. Now, that matches what Hillary Clinton said in her official statement to a journalist. She said that that helicopter did not crash inside the compound. That helicopter did not crash inside the compound either, if it is a helicopter or it's a drone. So if it's not classified, somebody please show me or tell me what type of aircraft that was. Remember, this is back in 2011, that operation, May 1st or May 2nd, 2011, right? That's 14 years ago. So I'm pretty sure that that drone or whatever, everybody already knows about it by now. So did that helicopter get back to the in the hands of the United States, whether it's our military or whatever? Okay. You know, one problem having dementia or Alzheimer's, you can't remember anything anymore, right? It's like that movie, what do you call that movie with Will Smith? Um, those men in black suits. Remember that movie? God, I can't believe I can't remember that movie. I only watched it like once or maybe twice the most. Um, Men in Black. Remember that movie? After they saw too much, right? They go up there with that little device and they said, "Look into this device," and they forgot everything. We don't know. We don't know what they got. And I would like to keep my memories. So everything you heard tonight is a conspiracy theory. None of this stuff is true. It's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. Every single thing is conspiracy theories. Even the supplied Wall Street Journal photographs. They're all conspiracy theories. Oh, we got the DNA. We knew who he was. We flew it to the USS Carl Vinson. How far away is USS Carl Vinson? The eyewitness, Pakistani eyewitness that sit there and watch the whole operation from the top of his roof or his balcony right next door to the compound, said another helicopter didn't come and pick up the remains of bin Laden or anybody else. No one else left the compound. And then after those two helicopters that were loitering nearby, they took off. They went in the compound. This is where we got some of the photographs of the fires inside the compound in Pakistan. And they said they saw body parts everywhere. Wait a minute. I thought they just went in and shot these people up, right? Did they put C4 on their bodies too and blow them to smithereens so we wouldn't know? Nobody knew who they were? How are you going to get the DNA remains back to the Carl Vinson or whatever, right? To do the adequate test? No, It's highly compartmentalized. Well, I didn't conduct a DNA test. I don't know what DNA test they were testing off of. RH didn't see it. Trust but verify. I can't trust it because I can't verify it. That's the way we need to play all these things. Well, you're really reaching now, RH. Am I? Really? Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the original avatar photograph. There it goes. Okay, I thank y'all for all your support. Those that came into the live stream tonight, I'm going to go through it. I don't know how long. It might this live stream. I might have to take it down. I'm gonna have to go back and review it. But with that said, anybody got any information that basically proves anything different than what I talk about tonight, please share it. Okay. Now, I apologize for not being on Rumble. Those people that listen on Rumble, gonna try to get up as quick as I can, back up on both YouTube and Rumble live streams, but I can't do that right now. And there's other things I don't talk about that are kind of personal, but yeah, your prayers, we definitely could use your prayers, and I appreciate it. So with that said, good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you're from. This concludes the live stream, and God bless. And remember, in God we trust. Good night.